This is the ZV-E10. In my opinion, the best entry-level camera you can buy at this time. A year prior to Sony released the ZV-E10, Sony's released the ZV-1. That camera checked almost all the boxes. The only problem he has, we could not do this on the ZV-1 because they only have one end sensor. That means it was not an interchangeable lens. It was only a point and shoot camera. That was the only reason I have no interest whatsoever on the ZV-E1. To my surprise, a year or a year and a half later, Sony released the ZV-E10. My only problem with the camera was the name, ZV-E10. Sometimes I ask myself why they could not just call that camera the ZV-2, just like the ZV-1, ZV-2. It would be simple. ZV-E10, what a name. But beside the problem of the name, bad wording shutter on that camera, and also no in-body image stabilization, to me, that camera is the best camera, entry-level camera you can buy at this time. Actually, I bought the ZV-E10 because I knew Sony was releasing the Sony a7 IV. I wanted to get my feet on and kind of get used to Sony cameras. I've been shooting Panasonic for the longest because, one, when the ZV-E10 come, it got the articulated screen. We all know that we want to see this on all the camera. No record limit. You do not have any limit to record on that ZV-E10, and it does not overheat unless you force it to. This camera is perfect. I'm going to show you 5 options this camera have that make it the best entry-level camera. If you're tired of shooting with your cell phone and you want to upgrade to a camera, the ZV-E10 is that camera that you can use to give you the perfect shot. If you look at on top of the camera, okay, they call this right here, you can see on top of the camera, a background defocus. What does that do for you? Even if you have an expensive camera like the a7 IV, a7S III, A1, whichever camera you have, you're going to have to buy expensive lens. $1,500, $2,000 lens if you want to go with Sony lens to get a blurry background, what we call a fast lens, f1.8, f1.4, so you can blur your background. With the ZV-E10, with that defocus button, with the including lens with that camera, the kit lens that come with that camera, with that push of a button, you can defocus the background or focus that background that give you that blurry background on the back of your subject. Everybody knows we love to blur that background, and with this camera, you don't need to even know how to manipulate the camera to get that done. You just push that defocus button on top of the camera and you have that blurry background. The trash can right here, if you can look at on the back right here, we have the trash can. If you push that trash can button automatically, you push that trash can button, you will have what they call the product showcase. We all know how we like to do this by showing off our product in front of the camera. He will blur your face automatically and give you the product you want to showcase in focus right away. If you are doing makeup on YouTube, let's say you're somebody that is selling on Amazon where you go ahead and show whatever you are showing, this camera would be the perfect camera to do that because the product showcase button does it automatically. You push the button, product showcase will showcase your product for you with no problem whatsoever. ZV-E10. I don't know why they call it the ZV-E10 when Sony could just call it the ZV-2. It would be perfect with that name, but that doesn't take anything away from that camera. On top right here, we have, I don't know if you can see that right here. That little button you see right there help you to zoom in and zoom out real fast with that camera. So this is a basically simple to use camera, very small, very compact. I know for myself, the minute that I bought that camera, I'll go ahead buy me a 35mm f2.8. This is a 10-1. I don't know if you can see that, because I've been using camera for a while. I have an idea how to maneuver myself around, but if you don't know how to maneuver around, it is okay for you to shoot with the including kit lens on that camera. Like I said, the problem that I see on that camera is basically bad rolling shutter, and of course we did not expect anything more than that. This camera have the same sensor you will find on the Sony a6100, and this is an APS-C size sensor, contrary to the predecessor of that camera, which is the ZV-E10, that only have a 1-inch sensor. As you already know, the smaller the sensor, the less light it will attract. The bigger the sensor, the more light it will attract, the better image you will get. With the ZV-E10, you have all that, a bigger sensor that will provide you with a better image. Whatever you're shooting right now, you are an entry level and you can go with that camera. At the beginning of the video, I told you I had no interest on the ZV-1 because I knew it was a point and shoot camera that come with an attached lens. I would have no option of taking that lens out and attach any other lens to that camera. But with the ZV-E10, I knew this was possible, and with that, I will have a camera that I can go to. If I want to keep that camera to shoot whatever I want, the image inside that camera is not that bad at all. But like I told you, the sensor is the same that we have on the a6100, and to me, this camera can be compared to the a6600 to my knowledge. Another problem with that camera, if you're someone that shoot pictures, right? We don't have an EVF. EVF is electronic viewfinder. Let me see if I can show you, pull this right here. Whatever you're looking at right here, this is the GH5. This is an electronic viewfinder. When people are taking pictures, you will see they put the camera on their eyes so they can see that image. For us that most likely shoot video, we can use the articulate screen to see our video. We also can use it to see pictures, but when we're shooting outside at time, it gives a lot of trouble for us to see clear what we're doing. The electronic viewfinder can give us a better view that we know how, the exposure is right. We know everything is correct when we look to that EVF. Another great features of that camera, it comes also with a mic on top. There's a fuzzy thing that come on top so you can put to eliminate, when you're shooting outside where the wind is, that sound, muffled sound, you can hear that on your video. This come pre with it. You want to put it, it will cover that to eliminate some of that noise. Myself, I leave that on the box. That's why I cannot show you exactly where you put that, because I forgot to take it out, because I have other mic, which is one of my favorite mic, the Asden. I think that's the SMX30 that I use to put on top of camera to record sound, because that will give me better sound than what they have on top of that camera. But let's say you're on vacation with your family and you do not want to carry a bulky mic like that, I can guarantee the mic on top of the ZV-E10 will be sufficient enough to give you quality sound of that video on a family vacation, or if you want to shoot your kid or anything. But for anybody that wanted to buy this camera to create content on YouTube, Facebook, wherever you're planning on doing so, I would suggest that you buy a mic that you can use to get better sound, because the ZV-E10 also come with a mic jack and also a headphone jack where you can monitor your sound. To me, this is the best entry-level camera out there. The camera shot 4K 24, 4K 30, 1080 at 120 frames per second. Also, Sony make it easy for you to defocus that background, a zoom rack on top of the camera, and also a product showcase where you can just show the camera whatever, once you push that button, whatever product you are selling, and the camera will automatically put that in focus for you. And the continuous of autofocus on this camera is second to none. It's focusing very great. This is exactly why I wanted to switch from Panasonic to Sony, because Sony has a better autofocus system than the Panasonic. And we can tell you right now, with this new sensor Sony are putting on this camera, this should almost a 5K and downside it to a 4K. This camera that I'm shooting with, the Sony a7 IV, shoots 7K and downsize it to 4K. You cannot get any better. This is great if you are looking to buy a camera at this time and an entry level, you don't want to use your phone anymore to create content. The Sony ZV-E10 is great. Also, you have on around the articulated screen, we're talking about a red line when you're recording that lets you know that the camera is recording. This is some great option in that camera that would make it best for anybody that do not want to shoot with their cell phone and want to go with a camera. To me, the ZV-E1 is great also because you will find all these options on the ZV-1, but remember, you would not be able to change your lens. Let's say if you want to change your lens later on, you start learning, you say you want to go and be able to shoot better later on, this camera gives you that option. You have a camera where you can change the lens instead of something that is a point and shoot, and you're only limited to whatever they offer you, because I believe that lens is a 24 to 70. I'm not sure exactly, but I believe it starts at 24 and end up at 70. But right now you have the option to use whatever lens you want on that ZV-E10. One thing that will surprise me when I got this camera was the size of it. The camera is very small, very compact, because if you're not going to put a big lens on it, it's simple. You can put it on your pocket real easy. If you just take that lens out, cover the front of the sensor, will be real easy to put it on your pocket. This camera, if you're looking for something as a starter, as a beginner that don't want to use your phone, the Sony ZV-E10 is great. Beside bad rolling shutter, also no EVF, this camera to me is the perfect camera for any beginner. So the question that I'd like to ask you, are you looking to upgrade from your cell phone to a DSLM camera? If you are, please let me know down there. And what camera were you interested in looking for? The Sony ZV-E10 is a great option for you. I would like to thank you for watching. If you are not subscribed to this channel, we would want you as a subscriber. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button and let us know your idea on this camera, the Sony ZV-E10. Do you own one? What you think about it? And as always, I will catch you on the next one.